In the early days of Kursk, two patrols meet in the Soviet woods. The recon troops of each side, two snipers and a Valentine tank, spot each other near a crossroads. There's a tense quiet in the air before it's broken by the rumbling of approaching tanks. I prepared an attack-counterattack scenario for our players, with 3 objectives. One on the crossroads, one on the farm, and one on the train station. Scouts were deployed, and the Germans, being outscouted, had to pull a counter. Turns out the Valentine had engine trouble. It sputtered out and died, stranding the tank in the middle of the road. The Soviets took the first turn, and the turret turned towards the enemy sniper. With some difficulty it managed to spot the enemy. But even with a few dice too many, they didn't manage to hit a thing. The German sniper took position in the farmhouse, securing the objective at the same time. And then the reinforcements started arriving. The infantry platoon arrived with 2 T-34s. And they rolled 7 orders. The 2 tanks sped forwards before leaving the road, heading towards the objectives on the flanks. The infantry started moving towards the farm, one unit running for it, while the next stayed in the wood. The third headed into the woods and looked for the sniper, needing a 6. The sniper moved slowly into the wood, and it was over to the Germans, who also received a lot of reinforcements. They rolled 4 orders. Infantry disembarked from the truck, and some moved forwards through the woods. While the sniper went into ambush, and more Soviet troops arrived. But they had only 3 orders. With Ura Ura, the infantry surged towards the farm. But when one squad tried to enter the barn, a shot rang out from the farmhouse. It missed the approaching soldiers, but the second shot took out a man. The rest hit the dirt. A tank moved to assist, but failed to spot the threat. More Germans showed up. They too had only 3 orders. More infantry arrived by truck. A mortar barrage against the Valentine was ordered, but the order didn't go through. The puck took aim at the tank instead. It struggled a bit at first, but found its target and sent a shell flying right past it. And then the rest of the Soviets arrived. One more order than last turn. A T-34 rolled past the farm and engaged the transports. But failed to spot them. Another rolled onto the train tracks to attack the approaching infantry. It fired, scoring a single hit. One man went down, and their morale held, but an objective was seized. More infantry entered the field, firing at the enemy as they went. Looking for sixes to hit. And the Valentine went into ambush. The last German squad came running. And they rolled 6 orders. 2 orders were spent to send the transports to safety. The German commander moved down the road, triggering the ambush. The tank barely managed to spot its target, but missed. The second shot nearly grazed the target. The turret swung towards the farm, aiming at the T-34. Needing a 6 to hit with both tanks moving. A rifle squad ran up to take the station building. The Stug moved to support them. The sniper opened fire on the fresh squad in the field. It found its target and hit. One man went down. But the rest hid, preventing a second shot. 8 orders for the Soviets. The Valentine kept up its fire on the Panzer. It just hit, but a small shell glanced off the front armor. The second shot missed completely. They thought a T-34 might have better luck, but it struggled with the dense terrain. It got far enough, but the shell flew wide. The infantry was ordered to assault the sniper, but they didn't want to. Another T-34 was brought forward to help take the farm, while the one on the track swung its turret towards the station building and fired its MG. It spotted the infantry and hit 3 times. Two were saved by cover. The infantry moved away from the windows and the tank was unable to spot them again. Infantry was ordered to add a fire to that of the tank, but couldn't spot the target. The infantry in the wood looked for the sniper and spotted it since it had revealed its position by shooting. They needed force to hit. And the sniper was out of action. The AT gun was brought forward. The Germans got 5 orders. The Stug went into ambush. The infantry started pushing back near the farm. While the MG team covered them, needing 5s to hit. The Panzer IV opened fire at both T-34 and Valentine. It spotted the T-34, but the shell hit nothing but air. It hit the Valentine, needing to beat a 6 to penetrate. The crew was unbothered, and the Soviets followed with 4 orders. A rifle squad took the farmhouse, securing the objective at the same time. While the ones in the woods opened fire on the approaching Germans, needing 5s. 4 hits, taking down 2 men, pinning the rest. They just managed to spot them again, scoring another 4 hits. Wiping out the entire squad. The tank in the wood fired again at the Panzer, hitting it square in the front, destroying its tracks. Another T-34 went hunting for the mortar, but couldn't find it. The Germans also got 4 orders. The mortar was ordered to fire again. The spotter run deviated towards the farm. Scoring 2 indirect hits against the nearest infantry squads, and needing 4 up to pin them. An MG team sprayed the T-34, fishing for that 6 to pin it. And the MG-42 was brought forward to engage the enemy infantry. It scored a single hit, but it was effective. The Soviets felt a surge of bravery, but not enough. 4 orders again. The T-34 ignored the infantry and kept firing on the mortar. The MGs rattled, scoring 5 hits. The infantry, having escaped the mortar fire, opened fire. They had trouble spotting the enemy at first, but they too scored 5 hits. Taking down 3 enemies. The squad in the house tried to defend their tank, but failed to observe the enemy. The T-34 in the wood took a single shot at the Panzer, needing 2 to observe it, and scoring a solid hit. The shell punched through, killing the German commander. Having done its job, the tank backed away. And then the sound of an approaching Stuka could be heard. The Germans received 5 orders. A bombing run was ordered against the AT gun. The bombs were inaccurate, but didn't deviate much. A small bomb hit the tow truck directly, and 2 hit indirectly. A large bomb landed near the T-34. With 3 hits, the truck was destroyed. The attack shook the Soviet troops. The gun crew had to jump out, but 3 lost their lives. The Valentine would be pinned on a 5, and the T-34 on a 4. Turning away from the tank, an MG team laid down fire on the infantry in the house. One man went down, and the rest were pinned, and kept their heads down. The MG-42 fired into the woods again. Needing 5s now, it scored 4 hits. 3 men were cut down, and the rest decided to run. The other MG team tried spraying the tank, looking for that 6 again. And the puck went into ambush. Yet again, 4 orders for the Soviets. The lone squad opened fire on the station building, spotting their target. They only managed 3 hits, but it was enough to wipe out the rest of the enemy squad. The T-34 swung around the hill, hunting for enemies. It fired and missed the AT gun. The sniper started firing. It spotted the enemy, but missed. And they were gone. The Valentine turned its MG towards the same group. It failed to spot the small team at first, but then it fired. One man was hit and went down. The last man felt brave for a moment, but thought it best not to stick his neck out. They then removed some pins. Only 3 orders for the Germans. The anti-tank gun turned to fire back at the T-34. The shell connected, but bounced off. The Stug turned to meet a new threat, but missed completely. The MG-42 switched targets to the squad in the field. Spraying them down, it scored 5 hits. and only one was saved. It managed to keep up its fire. Two more went down, leaving a single man alive, and he decided to stay. The Soviets stayed at 4 orders. The lone survivor ran to hide behind the barn. The T-34's turret turned. A shell flew past the Stug, and another struck head-on, but glanced off the sloped front. It just pissed off the crew, who drove closer and fired back. Punching a shell straight through the tank. Another T-34 felt inspired to avenge their comrades, but thought better of it. They instead received an order to shoot the Stug in the rear. It found its target, but didn't manage to hit it. The sniper tried to take out the lone soldier, but couldn't locate him. The Germans rolled 5 orders. One MG team fired indirectly at the house. But the Soviet troops sat comfortably. The other did the same before firing directly. Again, cover saved the squad. But the team observed them and scored 3 hits. Only one man went down, but they were finally pinned. The Stug moved into cover behind the tank traps and aimed for the T-34. The shell whizzed past and landed somewhere in the woods. The crew pushed their gun forward and aimed at the immobilized Valentine. They found their target, but couldn't hit it. The MG-42 aimed for the AT gun behind the woods. They had trouble spotting at first, but could see something moving, and needed 5s to hit. The rest of the crew went down. The Soviets got twice as many orders as they were used to. The sniper went to work again, needing a 4 to observe, but a 5 to hit. The Valentine tried its luck against the Stug, needing a 2 to observe. The T-34 tried the same. It found its target, but the shell flew right past it. It adjusted its aim and hit. The shell bounced off, and the crew was fine. The so far inactive T-34 moved forward to engage the lone soldier, but failed to spot him. The last tank did the same. It managed to spot him and scored 2 hits. He finally went down. And with that, the Germans lost their nerve. Having lost most of their troops, they decided to pull back and regroup with the main forces.